Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. You are in for a treat because I have found a foundation at the store that technically was not supposed to be launched yet and hasn't launched yet. I guess the store that I found this foundation at put it out early by accident, but for me that's a really good thing because I haven't seen any other videos on this foundation yet. With me today I have the Covergirl TrueBlend Matte Made Foundation. On Monday we went to the store and I was just looking around at the makeup, just browsing like I always do, and I saw this foundation but I didn't really think anything of it. I just assumed that it had been out and I had just missed the launch of it. But then Monday night I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw CoverGirl's post on this foundation saying that it was a new foundation but it wasn't going to be available until June. So I was trying to think to myself, like, was that the one I really saw? Am I crazy? But I knew that that's the one that I saw at the store that we were in. But it was time for me to go to bed and because I had to work in the morning. So my boyfriend went back to the store that night and picked up the shade that I asked him to because I was looking online and they do have it on their website now, but you just can't buy it yet. So from that list, I picked the shade that I might need and I sent him to the store and he picked it up, but when he got back it was completely the wrong shade. It was way too light, and so on Tuesday he went back and returned it and got a different shade. So I have the shade L50 and this is called Fair Beige. From what it looked like on there was 40 different shades. The first 15 were like my shade, the next 20 were just kind of beiges, and then there was 2 kind of deeper, darker skin toned shades. So it doesn't include everyone is what I'm basically trying to get at. So just keep that in mind if you were thinking about buying this when it launches. There are a lot of shades, just not a big range. You would think by now companies would catch on, but here we are. This foundation claims to have a 12-hour wear, it is transfer resistant, it has oil control, minimizes your pores, and it claims to be natural and comfortable on your skin. As of right now, I don't have the most oily skin in the world. I am on Accutane, so that dries my skin out quite a bit. So this will be more of a test to see how this will work for dry skin. There are 2 ways that I'm going to try to apply this foundation today. I have a flat top brush and I also have a Real Techniques sponge that I will be trying. These are basically the only 2 things I use to apply my foundations. I am hoping that this foundation matches me. It's kind of hard to tell, but let's jump right in and see what this foundation is all about. I have moisturized and I have kind of primed my skin with the Physicians Formula Rosé All Day and the Physicians Formula 24 Karat serums. Those have been my go-to lately every day before I put on my makeup. When you take the cap off, it does have a pump. It is a glass bottle and it comes with 1 fluid ounce, so that's basically your standard size for foundations. I really love that it has a pump. And another thing with the pump, you can close it to make sure that it doesn't leak anywhere. You just turn it to the right to open it up for the pump and then back left to close it. Alright, I am a little bit more zoomed in and I'm going to start on this side of my face with the brush. I'm going to start off by pumping just a little bit onto my face. Well, if I open it first. It's not the most graceful pump in the world, but it'll do. This looks pretty light and pretty golden. Whew. That is really yellow. I feel like I applied way too much just now for a first coat. And this looks weird. I'm gonna skip out on the brush and I'm gonna go straight in with my sponge. All right, my sponge is damp. I have only finished up the right cheek so far, but I can already tell you this is not a full coverage foundation. This is like a sheer to kind of medium coverage. As you can see, my freckles and my hyperpigmentation is still showing through this foundation, so definitely not full coverage. There really is hardly any coverage to this foundation at all, and it's kind of bothering me. My skin looks really dry and really patchy Obviously it is a matte foundation, so I expected it to be a little bit drier than other foundations, but this is not looking too great. It's definitely not the worst foundation I put on. My skin just looks really crusty. And that is not a good word to use for your skin. But I'm gonna keep on going. And by the way, this mirror that I'm using, it is from Impressions Vanity, but I found this at TJ Maxx for $16.99. I love TJ Maxx, and I thought that that was a really, really good find there. I have finished the first layer of my foundation. I'm gonna go in and do a second layer to see if I can fix the whole situation that's going on with my face right now. Can you see that? It's like not wanting to stick to your skin. And it wasn't any better with the brush. In fact, like with the brush, it was worse. I did moisturize really well before I started this video, and I did give it time to sink into my skin and absorb and dry, so it's not my moisturizer that's making this weird. I am trying to cover up some of this redness on my nose, and it's just getting crusty and gross right there. The second layer is finished. The coverage got a tiny bit better, but it's still not great. You can definitely still see my freckles. You can still see my hyperpigmentation on both sides. I also feel like this foundation is going to oxidize like crazy. It is already starting. I can kind of see a line on my jaw. At first, this foundation seemed to be a pretty good color for me. It still looks decent, but I can definitely tell that it wants to oxidize. One thing that it claims, it is definitely matte. This might be the most matte foundation I have ever tried in my life, which already, it claims to minimize pores, but my pores are so big on my cheeks, it is unreal. I usually don't have that big of pores, but it seems to be making them look so big. My forehead looks okay, but that's really the only part of my face that I am pretty happy about. The rest of my face looks terrible. My nose looks awful. I'm just trying to get a close-up for you guys to see exactly what I'm talking about. It's already oxidizing. My nose looks awful. Cheeks look awful right here. Like I feel texture, and I usually do not feel texture right there. It's already sinking into my smile lines. So far, this is not good. I'm going to go and finish up the rest of my makeup, and I will be back to show you guys the final result. Alright folks, I just finished my makeup and my face looks so bad. First of all, when I was trying to put on my concealer, it would not blend in. And I wasn't using a weird concealer, I was using one that I use all the time. It's just the Urban Decay All Nighter concealer. First of all, I went in with my concealer and it was a disaster. It would not blend in anywhere on my face. I still have lines. I tried to put a little bit right here to try to tone down the oxidization against my neck. Didn't really work. I was trying to put it on my nose. My nose was not having it. It looks so bad now. It was just pulling all the foundation off underneath where I was trying to put my concealer. My forehead still looks okay. It's definitely not the best, but my under eyes are creasing so badly. My under eyes usually crease, but never this badly, and I've just had this foundation on maybe 10 minutes. My bronzer went on okay. It definitely wasn't the smoothest application, but it did go on pretty well, and my bronzer and blush look pretty decent. I put on a little bit of highlighter on my upper cheekbones, and that looks pretty good as well. Around my mouth, my nose, and all over my cheeks, my foundation just looks so badly. But it is 11 o'clock right now, and I want to do an all-day wear test for you guys. Even though this foundation looks so badly right now, it might get better throughout the day as my oils mix in. You never know. That has happened to me multiple times before. I am going to give this foundation a fair shot and wear it all day so we can see if Covergirl just needs to go ahead and cancel the launch of it, because right now that's how I'm feeling. But I'm willing to try anything once. So I will be checking in with you guys in just a couple of hours. What's up? It is a little bit after 5 o'clock now. Just got off work at the New York Police Department. This foundation has been on for about 6 hours now. My face looks a little bit better, but it's still nowhere near as good as it should be. This foundation has oxidized so much. My face is now like a completely different color than my neck. My smile lines are so deep now. My pores look about the same, and my nose still looks terrible. The creases underneath my eyes have gotten 10 times worse. My forehead looks okay, but the rest of my face just looks so bad and I'm so disappointed. I was outside for probably like 4 out of the 6 hours and I didn't get oily anywhere. My skin has stayed matte all day and even through the 80-degree heat. I'm gonna wear this foundation for a couple more hours and I will let you guys know what I think at the end of the night. Alright folks, it is the end of the night. I've got to take a shower, wash my face, but it is now almost 10:30 and I'm very disappointed in this foundation. I think I've said all that I can say. My skin looks terrible. I'm ready to get all of this foundation off. I hate that this foundation was such a bust for me. I feel like the drugstore has had really good foundations here lately. This isn't one of them. I expected a lot better than that from Covergirl, but they did not deliver on this one. I'm gonna try to get one last shot in showing you my face right now at the very end of the night. Definitely not a good look for me. I hate how badly it oxidized. My skin looks so dry and so gross, crusty. I'm honestly not sure if this will work really well for people who have really oily skin. It might work better for you than it did for me. I definitely do have more dry skin at the moment. So if you have oily skin and you want to give this foundation a shot when it comes out in June, then you know, that might be a good idea for you. For the dry skin people out there, I would not recommend this at all. So overall, this foundation is a no-go for me. I will honestly probably never be wearing it ever again. That is a wrap for my impressions of the brand new CoverGirl TrueBlend Matte Made Foundation. I hope that you all enjoyed this video a lot. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, leave a comment down below, and I will see you all in my next video.